Hi, folks. Nick Tockert here with the Historical Fencing Guild. Before we get into tonight's program, we need to thank some folks. My show could not be made possible without the love and support of our good friends over at the Independent Creator Directory. That's IndieCD.org. I didn't need to leave that up. We're also made possible by sales of the Simple Sword, the Fighting Axe, and the Simple Spear, all part of my ongoing series of arts manuals designed to help you go from having never handled the sword to teaching the art to others. And of course, my incredible patrons off in the woods: Frog G, Ronald, Riehn, Bladed Thesis, Ryan K. Morris, Cindy Koepp, Steve Agosto, Don Dulas, Vaquera-Linke. Sorry, I had to remember it. Joe and Trilaina, Bachman, Richard Asplund Jr., and the amazing cat Rothermel. I could not do what I do without you fine folks. Botrex has joined the channel. Cool. And huzzah! Houston Dave joins us. All right, folks. It is the last stream before Christmas. I have been looking around trying to find the best last-minute things you can order and have available. Oh, out driving around looking at the neighborhood. What a wonderful thing to be doing this holiday season, Dave. I am envious of you. That's one of my favorite things in the world to do. But I should have time to do that fairly soon. Looks like we're back to same temperatures. It was not early today, so. But I've been trying to check, and I have found not a lot, because a lot of things have simply sold out. To tell you what I am this year, if it doesn't end up on, I am tracking down a coat fencing mask for 1,600 Newton one for the added protection, because in the spring I will be taking on at least 2 students, possibly 3, from the ground up new students, which I am, for me, there is no greater present that could be, offered. But it seems like right now the supplies have just been dropping. Move that to new window. We're going to move this. And as such, excuse me, there isn't a lot new to show you. But for me, it will be I need a new mask. If I can get one, cool. If I can't, a lot, like I said, I have to watch the costs of things. I have some concerns that are very based in our current situation. Oh, yes, to the person asking, don't be alarmed about the braces being back out. I've learned that when the weather is shifting a lot and we have really big fronts, it's just easier to make sure I'm braced up ahead of the joints getting stupid. It's just part of, another natural part of being unnatural. But I am at where I'm basically rebuilding my gear from the ground up again, because course of the move and some happened, especially this year. My gear got pretty torn up. I'm going to have to see what's going to work and what I can. I have a very nice, should be warm Gambison that I'm going to have to get some sheets of HDPE and make some plates for better overall protection. It's going to be a bit of a challenge, but it's also, it's cold. We're starting the year out. Well, we're wrapping the year up now, but it's a good time to sit down and do the prep work, the behind the scenes work. There was some at one of the practices, so I have a little tiny, like medium-sized mask. I don't know where it came from, so it could just simply be a switch, but I am still going to keep looking to get what I need. As I am pursuing this, I am also looking at different jacket options as I dig through. It's just part of the endless work of somebody who is doing the work behind the scenes and getting ahead. And apparently I hit the wrong button and stopped sharing my screen. Sure. Okay, we'll try that again. There we go. And if I trust the prices, some of these masks, these fencing jackets. I don't know if I trust, because I'm seeing a lot of no name, and I know I would rather more to have something that actually gives protection. This is the danger of Amazon shopping. But I'm finding that the existing companies are offering suddenly significant higher prices. I know that part of it is just the holidays, and a lot of shops are simply out of items. They just don't have the gear, but that's okay, because I just will keep on searching, and by spending the time doing the work now, and I'm through the different companies, going through the different options available, I can have this information ahead to make things as inexpensive and as viable on my new. This is just, there's a background of what we do when you were training and outfitting a group like mine. Is that really? That's not bad. See? And then I find things to add to a list. So I will add this to the HFG wish list. And I'm going to be tweaking them and sharing the wish lists around, because with the new students coming in, I'm going to be needing a lot of new gear. And this is a good time to be excited about. I am straining, actually, not to undercut what I need to do to make my gear work first. and that is really sort of counter my tendencies. I have this bad habit of buying loaner gear, forgetting my own gear, and then taking the hit, so to speak. Now, I actually have not but 2 of these targes that were provided by Rich Asplund, and I'm really looking forward to letting Trilaina and Jim this spring, possibly even this winter, get their hands on these and see what they think. Very, very nice trainers. But if I can find some things that might be useful, the Tallhofer shield is at 54. Oh, that's a steel Tallhofer shield. Oh, okay. This is going into the list too, because that is the opposite of the one Trilaina got, which is the really neat lightweight poly one. But it also means I will have the privilege of making a whole lot of leather projects. It means you guys can expect me on a few of these streams to be doing streams again. I have a head overhead camera rig, so I can take my webcam pointed at my hand and talk actually doing leather crafting, which really, really makes me happy. So I will have to dig out my old patterns again. But I want to get a quick scroll through to see the different and the different prices, because a couple of the metal shields have actually come down unexpectedly. And that's nice. That is a joyful thing to have happen. Because if I can find lower cost shields, I can help my get geared up and trained up, and then we can start, looking at what kind of groups they may be going to recruit themselves. It's very exciting. I want to forge something like that belt clasp. That buckle's interesting. That is a neat way to do a buckle. And I am saving. Sure. Just hide that. Save that. Because I want to see if I can make that go. My lovely wife Amanda is actually, like, earlier today was using a set of looms to make this very nice trim type stuff. And I bet we could, with a quote unquote buckle like this thing, and it would be indeed. So this is where I have the opportunity to cross-reference my arts and what Mandy's doing, and then leatherworking. So I'm very excited. We just need to see polypropylene. What? Because this is the time of year, and actually immediately after Christmas, there'll be some of the best sales of the year. Like the original cold steel buckler is going for $30. That is a great buckler. If you're looking for a starter buckler, you want a decent shield, that is a great Great little shield. Now, you will probably never see me use a hammer like this because that's still a mass weapon, and I recognize that handle from the axe. So it probably wouldn't be safe to fight with, but it is. Uh, they've even marked down. Oh, that's nice. See, this makes me happy because I check these every to see if the sales are any good. I need to go, hey guys, this is a really good for you. What I am most interested in, this guy's gone up, but I will be acquiring one of these cavalry sabers because it is closest to the style I fight, with the exception of the polypropylene rapiers. And I have 6 of those. These will be the weapons I train the newbies on because they're wibbly, but they're safely wibbly. And when you're dealing with brand new people, point control becomes a bit of an issue, but calibration is the monster issue. So we're really going to have to put those through their paces to make sure everybody is safe. That has basically become the standardized weapon of the Historical Fencing Guild. If I was going to say, if you're, I do with me right now, polypropylene rapier. These things are actually reasonably safe. They can get a little extreme heat, but they work. I've 2 years now. Oh no, that's the last time I purchased it. I purchased those longer than 2 years ago. I've purchased these quite a few times. That last time I bought more, because it's an investment, but it's an investment in my students, and it's an investment in safety. So it's totally, I think, valid. Let's see. I know this is not the full list, but I am seeing some interesting changes. So I am pondering here because I've watched this sword for quite some time on my list. Okay, this is by the Tai Chi practice. Okay. That tells me a lot about that particular sword. And it tells me that they're doing others in the style, because I bought, that's the new variant of the Tai Chi. Okay. I mean, these should all look very familiar. I have fought with these, the round hilt. One thing you don't want to get is a truly round hilt if you were doing sword play. It's not comfortable. They could be a massive pain. Now this fellow, what is this fellow? This is a little Dao too. That's nice. We like that. And they have a is that their version of a gladius? Okay. Now this, I don't know what they're claiming that is, but that sure has cloud energy. Not my jam, but I know it's somebody's. And these are good quality pieces of gear. I know I'm not talking about a lot of activity right now. That is coming. But, oh, I see what happened. I forgot to take shield off. There we go. Bam. I don't know why it's recommending a fake sprite to me, but that is mildly amusing. I still am sickened to know they made a Kit Ray trainer. That hurts the bottom of my black heart. All of all the things that I do, I can't believe they did that. However, going through and finding gear and going, this is BS, this will work, this should be burnt at the stake. Those are sharps. They shouldn't be in this search. Those are padded, but meh. I hate the one I like is naturally $10 more than the other one I like, but I don't want this fit. The saber fits more of the gear that I actually fight with. This is in my closet. I got it from Andy. She doesn't know. Next week she'll get it. Then I'll review it. Or I'll make her review it. Yes. It should be light on her. Perfect. Chef's kiss, but don't tell anybody. Let me see. Those are actually down a bit. And that tempts me because they come with the sheaths. And one of my big defining things as we come into this, purchasing things that have the option to draw, because I'm still so annoyed that people are not, oh, God. Oh, that's, no. 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 Please, no. Oh. Trainers. Sure. Oh, okay. So they're just now okay. You know, I'm going to pull back all that no silliness. Apparently, they are doing knife trainers now because these weren't here again like last week. That come with sheaths. I am of course worried about the sharpness of that point of the edge, so I'd have to double check before I let anybody even come close to handling those, but it's fascinating to me. Those interest me though, because those are K-bar basically style knives. I know people who train with them. I don't think this is weapons grade. But one thing you guys want to look for, and it's across the board, a lot of the Lord of the Rings swords are down. The Lord of the Rings trainers and the Hobbit-based trainers are kind of falling. So it's a snag one up if that's something that you are intrigued by. Oh my gosh. Hold on. I have to send that to Thesis like immediately. I know it's not his jam, but oh, they have this is a whole range. Let me see if there's anything new in here. But being able to find a quality trainer of your preferred weapon type is just such a it's such a almost I almost want to say privilege. But when you've spent sometimes decades trying to find a trainer that resonates with you, that fits you at a price range, and this is, you know, this is not me. They're very cool. but they're not me, but I know who they are, and I had to, message the individual. And I had to do it right now because I didn't want him to think I wasn't thinking of him. And it looks like we're getting some bootlegs of bootleg designs. So on these, that's a great knife trainer, by the way. So Bowie, if you were looking for a cooking knife trainer, unlike the ones I make out of heavy cutting boards, that's a good knife trainer. That's allegedly is a foam trainer, and that is a neat design. The Honshu weapons are very cool, but they tend to be overpriced. I don't know. But given that that's a very low price for it, that's in the scope of Chinese weapons that I have not played with. That's why we have people like these or like sword set. If somebody claims to have all the on sent in his simple sword list, and I tend to play this game for people as sword trainers tend to appear. But no one can know everything. And if they're telling you that they do somehow know everything, they're probably full of BS. And I hate to put it that way. I hate to be that blunt, but nobody, myself included, knows everything, and nobody is always right. So, let's see, is this? Let me see. Oh, guys. Wait. My friends. Story time! Back before he moved, my good buddy Sword Sage handed me a weapon. The Think handed me what the company that was putting it out called a Nagamaki. And while this wasn't a true Nagamaki, which makes it harder, it was like somebody took a katana. If you hold it up, and you could imagine just grabbing the and sliding it and just dragging the hilt along. So it went from a katana blade to a wakizashi blade, but it had that extra handle. I got a hold of that, and I have not been so in love with an Oriental weapon ever. Oh, that's an old, out-of-dated term. An Eastern weapon. So this bad boy at this price is going to the HFG list. And I will fix this. Our trainers want to get their paws on something like that. So that may be after I get the Saber trainer. But going through these every week, I get to look at these and go to follow the price trends. Because like Black Friday had and I'm like, these aren't changed. These aren't any normal prices. Now I will tell you, this guy right here, I think I've had 4 or 6 of them. Ooh, let's see the price history. Wow, it got down to under 20? These are some of the best trainers you can get, but you need hard over soft protection. I mean, these are bulletproof. I adore them. Enough that I may one day buy that style of actual hand axe because I've trained with those things for so long. Under the theory, train with what you know. Let's see. No. Those are deals. I also want you guys to be careful when you are looking because occasionally they will slip in a sharp. Now, see, this amuses me because this is the style of gin I trained with, but in polypropylene. And had these been available at this price when Sword Sage was local, I would have lost my mind getting those to him. Little distracted, but I figure it's the holidays. I'm going to allow myself to be. I think I put in the work, and I owe a I owe myself a little fun, you know. And as I say that, I want to point out this guy. This is a Kubotan. It's an interesting because it looks to be just polypropylene with a string loop through it for the ring. But if you're training with something like this, which these are very interesting force magnifiers, especially in situations and places where you can't carry something sharp, they have reinforced Sharpie style markers that do this. You can get almost the same great big Sharpies, the great big markers you get at the Dollar Tree. You could carry one of those, train with it as a Kubotan, and have the same effect. But that it's very, very hard to calibrate with because they're designed to be made of this kind of material and used as such. So you need to be careful with these impact, Kubotan styles because here's the cold steel version. Here's another cold steel version. These guys will mess somebody up in training if you don't respect them, and they're among the easiest training tools to disrespect. So you always have to be kind of careful when you are looking at trainers. That's why you saw me skip the mass weapons. You have to be careful with mass weapons because if it's made of polypropylene, it's still a mass weapon. Even an axe like this guy still has a lot of upward weight that can surprise. Practice and be sure of the calibration first. This is another one. That's a live steel weapon. That is the modern tactical katana machete, not the bizarre named one that I own and I quite like. I would love to see people do cuts with these because I think that might, given the price, actually cut. I mean, that's literally what it's built to do. So this is the other thing I get to show you. Earlier on, we saw a double set of these with sheaths for less than the price before shipping. So just because you see something you like say, this 24-inch blade, this is nice. I like this. I might not want to get it there. So you have to do image searches. And I'm setting this stuff up for the newer trainers, newer students, cool. They glow in the dark. I'm a dork. That's amazing. There are a couple items I am actually specifically looking for. But I haven't seen one or two of them. So I may have to do, once I've gone through the whole list, I'll do under other search items. Because this is the only way we're going to be able to find gear. Now, I've been hearing about even more HEMA armor getting breached by broken tipped swords. It's gotten utterly ridiculous. What is that? I want to see. I want to look at something. Tire thumpers. Interesting. And that's why I double check these guys, because I would like to see more of the popular, we may be running out of trainers now. I bought that thing over 10 years ago, and I barely touched it. Not buy that trainer. And I hate saying that, but do not buy this guy right here under any circumstances. They aren't worth it. They're not a good. If that blade doesn't suck, that's not a bad price for that knife. That's live steel, but a man can doodle. He can go, Yep, we're hitting more results. So that's really throwing me off. Again, lots of the the trainers are being swapped, and I hope we don't lose some of the better ones. Now, I do want to point out, I have 2 books in my cart. I'm not buying them, at least not till well after Christmas. What I'm most excited about is that there is now a reasonably priced translation of Thibault's Academy of the Sword. And I'm fascinated because it is basically like a narrow version of La Verdadera Destreza. And the book is $10. Okay, it's $11. $18 if you're going hardcover. But you can't get much better. Okay, but however, I own this. I don't know if it survived everything. I bought 2021 actually. Almost, wow. Yeah. This was a great read. And again, I have no problem recommending this. And at $8.99, wait, no way. No freaking way. Okay. That's what I was going to say. I was going to say, if there was a used one with no delivery fee at $4, I would be snagging that. But for the difference of a couple bucks, I just buy it new because I know it's coming through. But that was a very good book, as I recall. The Duelist Companion is amazing, but it's very expensive. The other one, not a fencing book. It's not a sword fighting book. It is Machiavelli's The Art of War. And I want to get a hold of this fine bit because I am rather fond of Machiavelli's writing. Now, I've read The Prince many times, and I mean, of the multiple soft covers that rode around in my pocket, I really need another copy of that. But I did not know about this particular volume until Dan Hollifield mentioned it to me. And I am fascinated to hear what he has to say about that. So, in an option of just laying money down, I would go zonk readily. Because that would be it's going to be a fascinating read. And that's part of what we do. We're always researching and looking for what could be useful, what could be of value. Cold Steel's a great read. So if you're looking for something for the swordsman in your list, no go. I have to look. How cheap is the copy of Cold Steel? 802 is the cheapest. But again, that's a great read. I haven't read the it's that one, Meyer. Yeah, I've read that in quite a bit in parts. However, price prohibitive. I didn't even know that this existed. So, Sword and Targe, for my Scottish folks, that is intriguing. Ha 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 ha. Is that what I think it is? Oh, okay. Marzano. Another great book if you can get your paws on it. Hey, that's the Fighting Axe. We know something about that, don't we? Art and Science of Fencing for Modern Fencing. It's time since I've read it, out in 1999, but at $6 used, yeah, $7, throw it there. You will be a happy camper. Understanding what modern fencing does can improve your understanding of historical, and though it's not popular, that's an overview, isn't it? That is wonderful. This is a great book. I thought it went away again. Dover Publications. One thing we are in a wonderful time of. Public domain books are starting to come back. So you have ease at reference. However, you also have I don't think I need the Amish survival manual, Napoleon. Colonel Theodore Fix. Okay, Darren de Batista. And, of course, the Civil Sword. Well, I need to upgrade all my books. Where are we at? 14, 1 star. I wonder who gave me a 1 star. It's probably somebody being finky. That's okay. Looking through these is the best. This is what we're going to have to do if you want to. Fencing America. No, we don't need to divide our property. But if I find ones I know I can, I've read and I can reference, I want to point that out. This interests me because that appears to be Russian staff fighting. Or first complete Portuguese. Wait. Is this? Yep. This English edition. There we go. So that is. How delightful! Russian staff fighting. Being able to find things like this. Scottish fencing was a great read. I think that got borrowed. Life skills. Okay. Capo Ferro. Yeah, pricey. Good book. Check it out in the library. Basically, if it's over $10, check to see if you can check it out at the library. That includes mine. If the historical fencing guilds, if the simple sword isn't at your local library, ask your librarian. They can order it. Ooh. Labatt's, see, this delights me because use of the small sword, but the $5 paperback because it's in black and white. This delights me. Philippa, ooh, they have added a great many more books. St. Martin. Oh, okay. This is a great read. It's been a long time since I read it, but Bayonet Fencing and Sword Practice by Hutton, Alfred Hutton. If you want military saber, Hutton is definitely one of the guys you should go to. I'm just loving that these books are popping up and we can quickly analyze them. That's new. The French stick staff fighting is an interesting method. It's very, very, very dynamic, very fast. Blends well with Savate. I don't know what that's about, but cutting with the medieval sword, theory and application. That one's new to me. I haven't seen that one come through lately. Really? Oh, that's cute. Okay. That's intriguing. Because there aren't enough people commenting on group fighting. And it looks like that is the entire list, which is fine by me. Because that's giving the options for us to look at and analyze. And I am, again, delighted. Plus, by going through this, it resets my search engine, which you have to do when you're keeping track of things. I'm just going to do this. I'm curious. Historical fencing, but I went so I want to see how quickly swept tilt in another one. We get interesting things that didn't show up last time. French, nice. like I said, I just want to see. Guys, learn to leather work. This should not be $30. Let's bring that up. When they give you a picture like this, no, I want this picture. Thank you. When they give you a picture like this, you can take note and you can basically figure out how to make your own variants. These are light grade rivets. We've talked about setting rivets. I will be demonstrating setting different types of rivets. You can get brass rings cheaply. And then with belts taken from Goodwill, you can make your own of probably a much higher quality, because I'm dubious on the leather in that. It says it is, but I have to see. Going through and looking at the different frogs and holders, this is even easier. This is actually a brilliantly little cute design, because we'll save him a jazz. I'm just saving this because I am totally yoinking this model. It's threaded. Now, they used a leather string, but you could use paracord. An eyelet setter and a bunch of eyelets is less than $10. These are riveted, but you can sew those parts. The only thing you'd have to do is set a single snap. Snaps aren't that hard. Guys, for what we do, understanding that we can go to the hardware store and get the parts, we can make many of these. This design I actually have made very similar myself. It is literally, you can stitch this curly piece of leather to a flat piece of leather, stitch that. So all you literally need is either a drill, a hole punch, or something to facilitate the sewing of leather or fabric. And one of these, they didn't even put rivets. They didn't even put eyelets to protect the holes. Now, they are giving you a belt, which is nice, but you can always go to a place like Goodwill and get a belt. What is this monstrosity? This is like 3 or 4 of them all stacked. Which, I mean, there's versatility, but it's kind of silly, because carrying that many, you're going to start to have interference on the draw. Are you seeing what I am putting down? Oh, no. They did not just... Thank you. That's leather with, that's the pattern. Make your own. We live in an era where the price of everything is skyrocketing. It is vital to learn techniques, but learn the creativity and the wandering the eye to see the opportunity to make your own gear whenever possible. I hate backholes. The idea of wearing a sword on the back, I find it idiotic unless you're not planning to draw that sword anytime soon. What is this? That's cute. That is actually kind of cute, because they've incorporated a quasi-pistol with the cutout for the black powder, for the flintlock. Not gonna lie, that is an interesting design. If only they gave me a better picture to see how they did it so that I could modify it. Oh, darn. And now, let's see. This is leather. Oh, if this is actually leather, which it's not like real leather, that looks like fake. Yeah, that's fake. Say the price isn't bad, but that's again fake leather. Why? Borrow the design, make your own. I love these. Those just made them. I think I've driven this point to death, so we're going to keep talking for just. This, let me double check something. Okay, this is the second to stream historical year. Next week we will be discussing what we're doing in 2026. Out to a few more people, and we'll try to get this. We can still of service doing what we do. An honor to do what I do for you guys, to be able to sit here, use my knowledge, even when my body is failing me, of use to be of value week in and week out. And I thank greatly the people who come in my chat, the people who ask questions, and the folks who come later. If you ever come on any of my videos, come upon any of my streams, and you have a question, ask. I check pretty frequently. Okay? With that, guys, I think we're going to call it here. Thank you, especially Houston, Texas, Dave. Enjoy Christmas ramble. And guys, keep your eyes open, keep your guard up. Do your drill. And always support your local swordmaster. I will be back next week for the final stream of this in 2025. I look forward to seeing you then. Toodles.